very pleasant good morning to one and all. I, Komal Singh, student of MBA Global, take this opportunity to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Nimish Ramesh, a senior HR professor, author, and a millennial life coach. He has completed his bachelor degree from Institute of Chemical Technology and a PG degree from Symbiosis Center for Management and Human Resource. He has worked for many reputed companies such as Dystar, and currently Sir is working for QMS India's HR plan. Sir has also read a book, Potential Plus. Do justice to yourself. Sir has also associated with many reputed brands such as Amazon, The Times of India, Notion Press, Udaan. It's a pleasure to once again welcome you to this session, sir. Let us welcome our guest with the virtual memento.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And I just have a presentation to share. Thank you for calling me once again. Is my screen visible to all of you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Wonderful. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so the topic is stress management and well-being, right? So before I begin, like always, I have a few ground rules. So I can't see you guys right now, but I would want all of you all to just switch on your videos so that I know that, I'm talking to human beings here, all right? I just want everybody to switch on their videos. Come on, we are all in a virtual world right now. If there is no interaction right now with the videos, then, it's not a good way to go ahead. So please switch on all your videos so that I know you guys are here listening. And please use the reactions that are there and have an open mind like always. Wherever I go, please have an open mind. Forget whether size matters or not. Forget who is strong, males or females. Just forget everything. Just have an open mind. Be a baby while listening. All right. So I can still see a few videos which are switched off. I would just request everybody. I'll just wait for a minute or so that everybody have their video switched off. Let's make it a fun session. Okay, all right. So I'll begin again, and this is my story. I have done by chemical engineering from University Mumbai, post which I did my MBA from 𝗣𝗲𝗿𝗀𝗏, and currently I'm a senior HR professional. And talking about my hobbies, I love playing table tennis. I'm a huge fan of Ma Long and Shu Xin, and this is what I normally tell people, whoever I come across within my life. No matter how busy you are, no matter what you do, at the end of the day, when you come home, do something that gives you joy. Do something that drives you, because that comes naturally to you. Now, if you do this, if you do what you love doing, okay, work-life balance, or all the stress problems that you all will be having will just go away. Now, I'll tell you, we all are conditioned to live life in a particular way, right? We do our schooling, we do our graduation, we do our post-graduation if needed, we work, we retire. That's how most of us, that's how typical life is. So how do we bring spice into this life? When you start doing something for yourself, right? When you start doing something that gives you joy. And the moment you start doing this, when you are on a happy state, not only you, but your whole family is happy at that point of time. So take the responsibility, take the onus of doing something that you really love doing. I had a similar story. I cycled from Mumbai to Pune because I just wanted to do it, right? Because that is what gave me happiness. But the real magic happened the very next day after I completed my journey. People started going for morning jogs. People started going to the gym. Then I was like, if I can inspire people unknowingly, why don't I do something knowingly? Right? So that is the time I decided that I need to become a coach. I need to become a mentor. I got trained in that. And this is how I've been living my life. I'm doing things that I love doing. And then I've written a book so that my message goes out to the audience at large. So this has been my story. And whatever happens, I'm repeating it again. Whatever happens, no matter what in your lives, do something that gives you joy. Nobody's telling you to convert it into a profession. No. If you like reading, keep reading what you like. If you like playing something, keep playing what you like playing. There are 24 hours a day, out of which you sleep for only 8 hours maximum. You have 16 hours with you. You work for the other 8 hours. What do you do for the other 8 hours then? You have 8 hours for your perusal. And just do something that you love for at least an hour a day. And trust me, all the stress management, all anxiety issues, everything will go away once you start doing what you love doing. And for those who do not know what your passion is, or what your real inner calling is, then my friend, I think you guys have a fear of exploring, fear of the unknown, fear of venturing into the unknown, fear of what the society would say, fear of being judged. So this is the fear that you guys would have if you really do not know what you love doing. So what do? Just start exploring slowly, or just start doing something that you've not done before the previous day for at least 5 minutes a day. But at least start, because starting is really important. So let's look at this comic. This one guy, he says, there is so much stress, I can't take it anymore. Then there comes a young chill guy, and a pretty cool guy. He comes, what if I give you a solution? Okay. So then that guy says, impossible, you have no idea what I'm going through. Then that guy says, Arey sir, give me a chance at least. Fine. Cool. Answer my questions now. Okay. So these are the questions that the person, chill guy, asked him. How much stress are you in? Was the question asked. He said, a lot. Is there a solution to your stress? He said, yes. Then the little guy said, then why take stress? Right? Is there a solution to your stress? If he had told no, then why the hell stress, right? If you have a solution to your stress, then why take stress? If you don't have a solution to your stress, then why take stress? Right? So this is where all of us come in. We take stress. When we take stress, it's normally about the past. And when we are anxious, it's normally about the future. So what do you need to do? Stay in the present. Utilize your present. Because if you utilize your present to the fullest extent, that is when your future will get secure. Okay, the answer lies in your present, not in the past, not in the future. All right, people who resonated with this, just give me a thumbs up or something so that I know that you guys are listening. Just give me a thumbs up. Did this make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. So let's come to the causes and the triggers of stress and anxiety. All right. When people have major life changes, now we all know we live in a VUCA world, right? It's volatile, it's uncertain, it's complex, it's ambiguous. So people don't like change, to be frank. There are some people who I know in the organization have been there in the organization for more than 15, 20 years. They have a fear of exploring because they've gone into their comfort zones. And once you're in your comfort zone, there's absolutely no growth in your life. All right. So when you're born, you just don't start running, right? There's a certain process to it. You start crawling first, then you start walking fast, then you start running. So there's a certain process to it. And at each stage, we were uncomfortable. So whenever there's a life change or whenever there's a change of any situation, that is the time when stress comes to an individual. Work related stress. The boss is not understanding your colleagues are not helping you in any way. You are not understanding the job that you're doing right now. You're not understanding how are you contributing towards the company. Work related stress, relationship difficulties, working so much in your office that you really do not have time for your personal life. When you get back home to your wife and kids, you're not able to give them enough time. So relationship takes a toss there. What then? What are you supposed to do? Then financial problems. You're working but you're not earning. Too busy to do. घर पे भी आओ, उसके बाद भी काम करो. So how children and family? So how can you control all of these things? So I would exclude the external part, and it's always to do with your internal mindset. It's the inability to accept uncertainty. In this COVID world, a lot of people have lost their jobs. What do they do right now? So I know people who've lost jobs and got back in an instance, and the others who lost their jobs but still didn't get a job even after a year. Why has that happened? I would say it's all about managing yourself. If you learn how to manage yourself, you don't require to get into stress at all. So I have a question for you guys. So just think about this. If you provide certain amount of value to the company, if you solve a problem of a company, won't the company hire you to solve their problem? So there is nothing like job scarcity. There's nothing like that at all. If you are a solution to a problem, then things will start working for you. That's how it works. Major businessmen, whoever are there in this world, they are rich because they solved a problem. So whenever you solve a problem, you help people, and when you serve people, you get money in return. That's how it works. Pessimism, अरे यार जॉब मिल ही नहीं रहा है, किधर भी जॉब नहीं है यार, अरे ऐसे नहीं. So with this, that sort of a mindset, it just percolates into your external body also, and it will start showing in your bodily exhibitions that you'll have in your in every way possible. Just extrapolate to your body whatever you think here. Negative self-talk. I'm no good, not getting a job. I'm just not worth it. I cannot. I mean, I've just lost everything. Versus if you have this self-talk, I am awesome. I am lovely. I'm going to crack this interview. I'm going to make everybody happy today. Imagine what sort of an impact will a person with this mindset have, right? Look at me. I showed you all two instances, right? About not being happy and about being happy. Imagine what impact it could have had. Let's take another example. Jealousy, hatred, pessimism, sad versus happy, excited, joyful. These are just some of the words that I use now. How did my body language change right now? So it's just these small things that you need to take care of, and it's the internal mindset that is the whole game. Okay, and perfectionism. There is nothing called as perfectionism at all. Things can improve in any situation. Things can get better in any situation, in any work that you do. Things can always get better. Records will always be broken. You never know when, but it will always be broken. So whenever somebody tells that they are in stress, it's not the work environment. It's not the external environment. It's the internal environment. People have a problem of managing their self. This is how I go about looking at stress. Now, I won't go with the normal definition of stress that Google gives, all right? Because that's people know it and people don't know anything about it. I'm here to provide some value, all right? How do you overcome stress at this point of time? Okay. So the root cause here in managing stress is poor in managing yourself. That is the root cause of stress in your life. So what's the process? So I have just given you a 5-step process on how you overcome your stress. All right. So if you guys, is it clear until now? Are there any questions that I can answer? Y'all can ask your questions in the chat box as well. If there are any questions, please answer it in the chat box, unmute yourself, ask questions in between. I have no problem whatsoever. Are there any questions up till now? Is it clear, everything?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So what's the process of overcoming a stress? Okay. Now the foundation of any self-development program you go to, foundation of any coaching program that you go to, foundation of any seminars that you go to, foundation of any self-management course, self-help books that you go through, the foundation is knowing yourself. What drives you to take actions? What affects your decision making? What motivates you? What puts you off? So knowing yourself is the ultimate thing that you really have to have in your armory to take things forward, to managing yourself, to managing your stress in return. All right. I'll give you an example now. If you loved about how planes work, aeroplanes, the functioning of an aeroplane, if you just really love knowing about it, innovating about it, do you think you'll ever get bored while doing it? Yes or no? If you love doing that, is something what drives you, that is something that gives you happiness, that is something that you do because you love doing that. All right. So when this happens, you really, I mean, there will be nothing in this world called as time management or stress management or having effective meetings. All these things won't matter. Time management will not be an issue if you really love what you're doing, because you don't mind. You know, if things don't work, you'll find another way to do that particular thing. So that is why I'm saying you need to know what you really love doing. So how do you know yourself, right? Answer these sort of questions. Okay. Know your personality type. Now there is something called as Enneagram. If you want, you all can Google this. ENNEAGRAM, Enneagram. You are part of one of the 9 personalities that you follow. Okay. And these personalities are such that you may vary between states. Let me clarify this in a better way. So there are 9 personalities that people have. And when people tell you that, you know, this guy has a double personality or this guy has a triple personality, that actually is not the case. People have only one personality. And in each personality type, there are certain states: a destructive state, below average state, an average state, good state, and the best state. So you vary between these states, but your personality remains the same. So go into Google, see what your personality type is, and read your report. Another way of doing it is just write me a mail, and I will send you the link on what your personality type is. Right. So there is one. Does extracurricular activities help us to reduce stress? Okay, Anuj, if that extracurricular activity is something that you love doing, it will definitely help you reduce your stress. Have I answered that question, Anuj?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So this is how you know yourself. Way number 1, go to Google, type Enneagram test, take that test and understand your personality type. Or just write me an email, I'll send you that test right away. All right, that's my email ID. Step 2, belief system. Now, how are you wired? What is your belief system? What beliefs influence your decision making? How can it be redefined? Now, for example, आप एक गुज्जू वाले के पास जाओगे, so that person will be like, you're talking about stock market, so that person, okay, a typical Guju person, he will love stock markets. He'll be like, अरे इससे तो मैं इतना पैसा बनाता हूँ, मतलब this is my, it's there in my blood, you know, investing in stocks and shares and bonds and whatnot, government schemes and everything. And you talk to another person, maybe from the south, okay? I'm not stereotyping, I'm just giving an example, okay? And then that person will be like, no, investing in stocks are a gamble. No, you just lose your money. That's really not care. So what is happening here? It's just the belief system. Is anybody right or wrong here? No, both of them are right because it's working for them. The Guju guy invested, he got his money. The South Indian guy invested, he did not get his money. Simple. So there is no right or wrong here. It's just the belief system that you have. So why are you negative regarding certain things? Why are you positive regarding certain things? Now, this is majorly because you have been brought up in a particular way. You have been told how to talk, you have been told how to dress, you have been told how to interact with people, with various people in your lives that you come across. Relative से ऐसे behave करो, कोई बड़ा है तो ऐसे behave करो, कोई business में ऐसे बात करो. So these are the things that we've been told to do. And it is not wrong, it is not right. So if you're negative regarding certain things, how do you change that into a positive thing? Okay, that is something that you all need to work towards. All right. For example, the South Indian guy, how can he change his belief system in shares and stocks? Now, the very reason why he was not believing or she was not believing in stocks or shares was because he was surrounded by people who lost their money, or he himself might have had a negative experience regarding it. So what does he need to do? He needs to change his focus. Focus from examples of people who have lost their money in shares market and towards the people who have earned in the share market. And how did they do? By proper market study, by going through the business values, what are their long-term plans, looking at all these things, they made an investment decision which worked for them. And that is how you're supposed to go through it. So the person who has negative beliefs regarding certain things need to work towards it to convert it into a positive belief. So what's the action point? Know what your negative beliefs are. Why are you negative regarding certain things? Do you think that money comes really in a very difficult way in your life? Do you need to toil hard to get money into your lives? Is that your belief system? If you ask any businessman, if you ask Mukesh Ambani, what would he say? He would say, "Arey, I'll just start this business and I'll get this money back." Why? Because he had that belief system. He has that belief system in him. And that is why all businessmen have that mindset, have that belief system. And that is why it happens to them. If you think you'll just crack this interview, whatever happens, I'm going to crack this interview. All right. So at that point of time, 90% of the times that person will crack the interview because he has that mindset, and that mindset will translate into your body language as well. And 80% of communication happens through your non-verbal skills. That is the body language, the way you present yourself, the way you talk, the way you walk. That is why I just wanted all of you all to switch on your videos so that I know what kind of an audience I'm addressing, and I understand who are listening, who are not listening, and are they really interested? So even if you don't tell anything, I can make out whether you're really interested in the session or not. So know what your negative beliefs are, and how do? You dig into your childhood memories. Okay? Because of your childhood experiences, majorly, this thing happens. Now, when you were small, maths exams, if you were the one who was being told, why do you make so many careless mistakes? You are the one who makes careless mistakes. What happens when somebody tells, when a teacher or parents, even my parents say, you always make careless mistakes. You know everything, but you make careless mistakes. So then what happens? It just goes into the mind of that particular individual. Now, the child can take it in two ways. The child can take it in one. The first way is, I make a lot of careless mistakes. Yeah. Why do I make this mistake? I don't understand. So he's going into that negative self-talk. So that person will make mistakes further as well. There can be another perspective to it when the child decides, I am not going to make any careless mistakes now. And that child will not make at all. So dig into your childhood, understand what made you believe in a particular way, why was it negative in a particular way, and practice mindfulness. Now, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the ability to stay in the present moment. Now, when you meditate, when you start meditate, what do? you try to focus on your breath. Okay, but that is really difficult. All of us know it, how difficult it is to focus on our breath. And then all sorts of thoughts come into our mind: past thought, present thought, future thought, what I want to do, kya email aaya, mera dost ne ye kiya, mera dost ne wo kiya. All these thoughts start pouring in while you meditate. Now, the purpose of meditation is it's okay to have such thoughts. You just need to acknowledge whatever is coming in. You don't need to invest. Now, thinking something or having a thought towards something, it involves a lot of energy. And meditation, mindfulness is for relaxing. So whatever thoughts come to your mind at that point of time, acknowledge its presence and understand later why did that thought come in the first place. And when that happens, when you're in a good state of mind, then you'll be able to take the right decisions that you feel is right. Decisions that you feel is right. Ratan Tata says, right, I don't know whether it's a right or wrong decision. I just take a decision and then make it right. So let thoughts pour in. Let thoughts pour in. Just acknowledge those thoughts and then take it forward. That is why you practice mindfulness. Then you understand why you were negative regarding certain things, why you were positive regarding certain things. So this is your step 2. Step 3, smart goals. Now, how many of you all have set goals in life, New Year resolutions? Why don't you think it never worked? It never worked, right? I mean, 1, 2 weeks, 1 month, chalo, 1 month. You all followed your New Year resolution. What happened then? That is because point number 1, you did not set it in a smart way. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Now I'll tell you, from tomorrow I'll go to the gym. Okay, one statement. Your second statement will be, from tomorrow I'll go to the gym at 5 p.m. for 1 hour for the next 2 months on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That was your second goal setting. Which one are you more likely to do? Obviously the second one, because it was set in the SMART goals way. But people who set SMART goals also really do not follow it religiously. Why? Because there is something called as core values. Now, every individual are bound by their set of values. Integrity, for example. Family, for example, is my value. Okay. So clarity could be one of the values. Why do companies have mission, vision, values? So the company knows where it is headed towards, and the company knows how it is headed towards. Now, if selling a product to your customers, all right, if such a case is there, you sell a product to your customers, and you tell your customer that the rest of the quantity or whatever I have to sell, I will give it to you in the next 10 days. Okay, and somehow you're not able to fulfill your promise, and your company values were integrity, and your value was not integrity, your personal value. So according to you, it was okay, it was a delay, but your company's value is integrity. It wants you to fulfill what your promise. It wants you to do whatever you say in its truest sense. So company has, now that particular person did not return it in the give the next amount or whatever the product in the next 10 days. So what will the customer think? This company is not that great. This company does not have a good culture. So this is how there needs to be a culture fit between the individual and the company. So the company also has a certain set of values, and you also, as a human being, for self, you have a set of values for yourself as well. So once your goals match your value system, that is the time you always have a sync between them, and you always achieve whatever your goals are. Let me try and simplify it. It may get confusing. Now suppose achievement is one of my values. Okay, my personal values, achievement, and I want people to recognize me, or people to know me for the hard work that I have done. Okay, that's a normal thing to have, that everybody will have. And I've set a goal for myself that I will make a six-pack body in the next 2 months by going to the gym every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, spending 1 hour every day under a trainer. Now, my value system, I have set it in the smart way. Point number one, 50% of the job done. Second job is, why am I doing it? Because I want achievement for the hard work that I'm doing. I want people to know. I want people to recognize. So won't you be doing it? So have your SMART goals in the right way and back it up with your personal core values. All right. So how do you get to know what your core values are? Ask your friends, what do you think my values are? Because if you ask yourself, you'll be like, अरे मेरे को तो मैं तो सब है, मैं integrity भी है, clarity भी है, achievement भी है. You will say you have everything, and your values are everything. So ask your friends or your relatives about what's the one thing that you value the most. All right. Whatever goals you have from today, write it down in the smart way. How? You just got to do it. And if you feel your goal is too overwhelming, break it down. Break it down, and each sub goal also you make it in the smart. That's step number 3. So what was step 1? Knowing yourself. What was step 2? Your belief system. What was step 3? Set goals in the right way. Remember why we are doing all of this. We are doing all of this to evade stress. All right. How do we evade stress? We need to learn how to manage ourselves. How do we manage ourselves? Through this process. Step 4, visualization and obstacles. Okay? Know the power of visualization. Now, there was a scientist, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. So this was an experiment done in Alan Richardson is the scientist's name, and he did a research in the 70s. Okay. And what his research was, he wanted to know the power of visualization. So what did he do? He did an experiment on college students, yeah, who played basketball. Every day he played basketball. So what he did was he divided those 3 players into 3 sections. All right. Section 1, section 2, and section 3. So what was the aim of the experiment was to see the improvement of the free throws in basketball. Free throws in the sense, the number of times a person puts the ball inside the basket. He wanted to check the improvement of that, of the 3 groups that he divided them into. Group number 1, what he did was, he told that group to put the ball inside the basket for all the members that were there in that group on the first day. And then he told to do that on the last day, that is the 30th day. It was a 1-month experiment. All right. So group 1, first day free throws, second day free throws, and he would check the improvement in the level of percentage of the number of times the ball went inside the basket. That was section 1. Section 2 students, what they did was, they called all the students. They told them to put the ball inside the basket on the first day. Then for the rest of the 29 days, they were told to meditate and imagine, visualize them putting the ball inside the basket. All right. This was section 2. They did not practice anything. Pehla din kiya. The rest 29 days, visualize them putting the ball inside the basket, and they left. The third group, section 3. They were told to practice on the first day, to put the ball inside the basket on the first day. They measured the number of people who put the ball inside the basket. The rest 29 days, they were told to practice for half an hour every day. And the 30th day, they would again give the test and see the improvement over the time, over the first day. So now you'll be shocked with the result, all right? First section, did not practice, did not visualize. There was no improvement at all. Second section, they practiced only on the first day, visualized, and they had a 23% improvement in the free throws. 23%. The third group, they practiced every day for 30 minutes, and their improvement over the first day was 24%. Now, this is the power of visualization. Now, imagine what if the section 2 had visualized and practiced, how much would they have improved over time? So that is the power of visualization. And that is what I want. If you have a dream or goal in mind, visualize you achieving it or already having achieved it. That is the power of visualization. See what your obstacles or barriers are. Who can help you overcome your barriers in terms of resources or support? Now, your network. Now, I will tell how your future will be by looking at your network. That is a statement that I can do right now. If you're not surrounded with the right set of people, right set of ambitious people, right set of people who work hard or really want to achieve something in life, if you're not around those kind of people, then you will also be the same. If you think you've not achieved much in your life, look around. How much have people achieved in your life? It'll be the same, maybe 5-10% up or down. All right. So your network defines your net worth. Who gets promotions in organizations? The people who spend most of their time with their next level. You may think कि वो चाट रहा है, which actually is not the right word to be used. I'm really sorry for that, but that's actually not the case. You spend more time with that particular person, so you learn things, and that is why you get promoted. Who do CXOs spend most of their time with? With other CXOs, and that is why how is their thought process very different than the others. So understand what your network is. If your network is not right, please move on to a better network of people. Know your obstacles and visualize having achieved your goal. How? Take support from the right people. Always have a mentor or coach. Why? Because there should be somebody in your life who has a 30,000 feet view of who you are as a person. Virat Kohli, the world's best batsman, he has a coach. Why? Sachin Tendulkar had a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach. Now these are from the sports industries. You take any businessman, you take Mukesh Ambani, who was his mentor? His dad. Everybody has a mentor or coach in some form in their lives, because that saves them, one, from a lot of mistakes that they would potentially do. Two, it will save them years of time of their lives when they learn something and they can avoid doing those mistakes. That is why having a mentor or coach is really important in your lives. All successful individuals have one. What is the final step? Know your blueprint. What is your blueprint? It's the summary of all the previous steps. Know what your personalities, know what your belief systems are, know what your goals are, and you need to have the right support system to overcome your obstacles. So what do you need to do? Prepare your blueprint. How? Complete the previous steps. All right. Any questions up till now? How is it going? Can I just have a feedback or some sort of emoticon that you all can use? Is it going well? Is it making
Yes, sir.
sense?
Yes, sir. It's
Yeah.
completely
Yes,
understandable.
sir. We enjoy
Yes,
it,
sir.
sir.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so this is your blueprint on how to manage your stress in life. So in a nutshell, okay, so summary, the last 15 minutes I'll give it for Q&A, 15-20 minutes for Q&A, right? Stress is a man-made overrated term. What happens if somebody is in a low phase? What do people say? Arey, ye depression mein ja raha hai. And if somebody is in depression, what do you say? Arey, no, you're not in depression. This is just a phase. Stress is just the beginning of it. All right. And stress is a man-made, it's an overrated term. All right. It's all about managing yourself. Why are you negative regarding certain things? Why do you behave the way you do in certain situations? So you know yourself and you know what you want. You set your goals the right way. You have the right belief systems. What can stop you? There's nothing that can stop you. Always have your blueprint ready. Who are you? What are you doing? So this is the way on how you manage stress in life. And you won't get this anywhere. I've not copy pasted from Google or somewhere. This is my process, my way of doing it, because I've seen people in corporate and have coached people in life as well. So basically these are only the things that people need to go through, and they will sail through. So that's it from my side. If there are any questions or support, you all are more than I'll be more than happy if you all reach out to me. That's my contact number and my email, and you all can get back to me, get in touch with me as you wish. So let's open this forum for questions. All right. You can
Hello,
ask
sir.
questions. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how do you ensure that the stressful situation in your personal life doesn't affect your work performance?
Okay. So are you facing something like this right now, or are you projecting this, or do you have given me a just a situation? Hello.
It's a situation, sir.
It's a situation. All right. So personal and professional. Now, when people talk about work-life balance, I personally believe there's nothing called as work-life balance. All right. Why am I saying that is because if there's work, you need to work. I mean, it's done. You need to learn a way to get around your work. You'll have heard of the 80-20 principle, right? No matter how busy you are, the top 20% of your work will define the 80% of your output. Top 20% of the individuals in this world have 80% of the wealth, and the rest 80% of the people have the other 20% of wealth in this world. 80-20 principle works everywhere. All right. So you need to manage your work. List down the activities that you have in your work. Take the top 20% of your work and focus on that. If you're done, if you do that, this will come over time. No need to worry. And once you understand what brings more results in yourself, then you can, work your way through. So just concentrate on the first 20% of the work. Now your work life is sorted. Coming to your personal life, there can be a lot of issues. Either with your partner, with your kids, with your parents, it can be anybody. All right. Understand why is that happening. Empathize the other person. Why are they thinking? Understand their belief systems also. From what are they coming? Now there are a lot of things that I do not, resonate with my friends or my family members. But I accept the fact that they have a different point of view. But we need to work it out. All right. Remember belief systems. Remember your personality type. Remember your SMART goals. What are you supposed to do to sort that solution? So this is the way you go through it. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Then one more question from the student side. That can you describe a time where you have stressed resulted to making errors in your work performance also?
Stress leading to errors. Now, like I said, stress is more towards the past and anxiety is more towards the future. So why are you stressing about the past when you can't change the past? So remove that thought process from your mind and practice mindfulness, which I had mentioned. What is mindfulness? It's about concentrating on the present. So however you'll work your present, it will shape your future in the way that you manage your present self. So do not stress, I would say, because do not think about anything what is there in the past. Forget about what has happened in the past. You cannot do anything about it, but you surely can change the interpretation of your past. All right. In the past, you made the same mistake. That is why you're thinking that you can make the same mistake right now. That is why maybe you have the stress. So whatever is there in the past, accept it and take it as a learning. Remember the careless mistakes example that I had given about how a child can take if somebody's telling, if a teacher or a parent is telling their child that, you're making a lot of careless mistakes. It can work that way. Because that has happened with me personally, because me and I have an elder sister, and we both used to make a lot of careless mistakes. But my sister, once she made a point that she would not make careless mistakes, she never made. But I was on that negative side. I was like, I always make negative mistakes. That is why I could not get out of it after I really realized that, this is something that I have to correct it myself. So change of perception, change of belief system matters here.
Okay, sir. Sir, due to this pandemic situation, everyone's work life is getting affected. And also the stress level is so high and the anxiety is also high about the employment and job security is not there basically. So how the situation we can manage by doing the skill set, what skill set should we have to develop?
Okay. So I'm making a very strong statement here. Now, it's reality. So that is why I'm making a very strong statement. You may agree, you may disagree, but this is something I really believe in. Now, if you do not find a way to increase your income or increase, that is because you do not have the right skill sets. Because it can be replaced by a robot or somebody, or that work is really not needed right now. So you need to improve yourself. You need to be on a constant learning ability or constant learning process, especially at this point of time. For example, some people take tuitions at their home, right? Before the pandemic. Now people didn't, after lockdown, people used to not come to their homes. So how are they supposed to learn? So there are some people who's like, नहीं यार मैं वीडियो नहीं कर सकता या वीडियो में नहीं सिखा सकती. There's no vibe in there. Why? Because they're not willing to be at a learning stage. They are not able to accept the reality, the situation. So what did some people do who take tuitions at home? They decided to take it online. And घर पे कितनी होंगे? 10 होंगे, 12 होंगे, 15 होंगे. After they took it online, the 10, 12, 15 went on to 1,000, 1,100. How did they scale their income? And by how? How much? Can you imagine? Because they had the willingness to learn to adapt. So in this situation, people need to have the willingness to accept the situation, to adapt the situation, and have an open mind of learning. What new skills could come in place? You'll need to learn how to use technology right now. Because in the next 1.5 years, I don't think things will improve right now. As far as coming together as a group is concerned, everything will be online. So you'll need to learn all these. You'll need to adapt to new things, new processes. And when you learn to adapt, these things won't matter. All right? Satisfied? Not satisfied with the
Yes, sir,
answer?
satisfied. Yes, sir.
You can tell me if you're not satisfied. I try to give a different example.
No, sir.
Okay, no issue. Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Also, sir, actually, there is I feel anxiety sometimes. So, whenever I have something important to do or a job where I play an important role, I get anxious.
I cannot hear you. Can you be a little loud?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it's faint.
Is it audible now?
Yes, I'll try.
Sir, whenever I have something important to do or where I play something important role, I get anxious. It affects me, but it really never affected my job. I did it anyway. So I don't want to really deal with my anxiety, and I don't want to feel that way. So what would you suggest me?
Were you successful in, doing that in your job?
Sometimes, sir. Sometimes.
So when you were not successful, when you think you did not do well or did not do well, why was it so?
So it's just because I thought a lot about that, and maybe I got anxious.
Okay.
And right now I'm working on it. But what would you like to suggest me?
Okay. So again, it's about your, like I said, the personality test, all right? You're at different states. At the state when you think you did not do well, that might have affected. And how is your best state? You need to go through your personality test. So you can mail me and I'll send you the link of the personality test if you want. And you will understand how you will behave or what potential you have when you're at your best state. Now, imagine me talking this way. yes, guys. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy. So, what was this state? This state was, nobody would want to listen to me if I talk like this, right? But right now, I am trying to be energetic. I'm trying to, put forth my message across you guys, and that is how that is the state in which I am in right now. So state matters a lot. So before you gave a speech or whatever work that you were talking about, it did not go well because you were not in the right state of mind. You thought that you're not well prepared, or you were thinking that this has happened earlier. Dig into your childhood. Has there been an instance in your childhood when you were not prepared? You were thrown into the water, and then people asked you to do something and you did not do well.
Yes,
See,
sir.
that
Yes, sir.
happens sometimes.
Yes.
So now you need to realize that for a child, that is completely acceptable to have that sort of a behavior. Is it required right now? No. And so right now you need to change your belief system. Now, you told me there have been times that you've been very successful in whatever you've been doing, right? Imagine that. How was your mindset at that point of time? And try to replicate that. And there is no point in being anxious, because you really cannot control your future, but you surely can control your present. So focus on the present and forget about whatever your future is. All
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.